getting that information. But I'm a little anxious about how in maybe the week before the transition and the week after, I think as you get closer, anxiety levels of folks who heard it, knew they were supposed to act, and didn't act. And I don't mean a procrastinator like, maybe my family. Those coupons right there, because I want to buy the boxes and donate them, but still haven't gotten to that yet. I'm not talking about folks who can take care of themselves. Of course, today we're all talking about people for whom there are gaps and that need that assistance in getting over that gap. And I'm wondering if the challenges of at that point, if you're really anxious about something and it's very close, that kind of, everybody told me this, but now who do I go to? And I'm wondering how we handle that. I know that Mark's organization and some of the NTI funds are focused on a very centralized system, a center to bring folks in and help them kind of from A to Z, it sounds like, get them in there and get them the help they need. That's what our folks are doing in the Aging Network. FCC call centers, I'd love to hear more about how that will work and how that drills down to a local level, because if you get someone who didn't just keep the plastic on the battery, but literally cannot move their television, it may be easy, but not if you have physical limitations or visual impairment or something like that. How we're going to kind of really coordinate all this amazing effort into one system that allows for that help to make sure we don't leave folks behind. So I know there's still a lot of work to be done in the weeks leading up, but I'm getting increasingly anxious about that two transition weeks of how we can do that as seamlessly as possible, build on the fact that there's multiple players, but have some centralized system. So if I can throw out a couple little questions in that regard. To Ms. Dawson, if you can talk also about, there were some FCC funds available for grassroots organizations, I think, to do this work, whether call centers or maybe you had other things in mind. I'm curious to know how that's going to roll out and how that will build on this effort. If anyone who does the government relations side up there, maybe Myra, can talk to how the Capps-Rockefeller bill may allow consumers some further education to consumers to make sure we don't leave folks behind. I'd love to hear about your response.
Well, as far as the grassroots organization solicitation, we did get hundreds of applications, and they're actually still being reviewed. So I don't know at what point all of the funding will be doled out, but I do understand they are still in the process because we did get quite a few, and we do plan to use basically the applications that we got, and depending on the regions that they said that they would hit and the targeting areas that they said that they would hit, that we will use that to our advantage by using them to be able to hit those pockets that we may not be able to hit. The call center, it's only so much you can do on the phone. We do talk one-on-one. We have troubleshooting guides that our CAMs or our specialists go through with them to talk through, but we do recognize, we also have some interns on board now who are calling individual community-based organizations to bring them on board to be that go-between between us and that person. A lot of fraternities and sororities, whoever we can, that like I said, trying to find somebody that person can trust to come into their home. We are trying to create avenues for that. Just us being headquarters is kind of limited, but we are trying to take that extra step and try to convince communities that it is in their best interest to do their own outreach and to be able to make themselves available for those people that we cannot actually touch. As far as like I said, the call center itself, it's basically going to be whatever. Like now we get a lot of coupon questions. I forgot can I get my money back, or I didn't get it yet, and things like that. Whatever question, but we do have people that are trained, that know all the information. We basically have a notebook full of information depending on what their concern is, that can go to that specific question and try to answer that question as quickly as possible. If it is if it's something where headquarters cannot actually deal with, we do have field offices that it may be us going to that particular person's home. I mean, it really will depend on that particular issue. We're going to try to do what we can to, as at the FCC, to do the best we can with what we have, the resources that we have. But like I said, as far as details, as far as how the call center will be beefed up around that time, I just don't have the details on that. But I do know that the awards for the solicitation should be pretty soon. Is that your answer?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And let me, if I might just add, everybody has somebody, right? Let's try to make this. We're going to be around friends and family and churches and community organizations, and let's make it a point to talk about the transition. to help. Litter boxes make great Christmas gifts. Antennas make great Christmas gifts. So, you know,